Hello everyone, welcome to Soft Technology. In this tutorial, I will explain you about linked list. So there is a 3 point I will mention here. First one is what is linked list. Second is why we use linked list, and third is how we will use linked list inside the Swift programming language. So let's begin. First thing is we need to know what is that. So before that we need to know the variable that we already know. So what is variable? We just create a variable with a specific name and we initialize the value like this. Okay, so here what happen is inside the memory there is a memory reserved with the name a and the value is 10, and there is a specific address, right? There is a specific address like something. Okay, so whenever we will create a different variable like this variable c is equals to 20, then again same thing will happen. Some memory will reserved with the name of c, value is 20, and the address is like something. Okay, so this will happen whenever we will create a memory, create a variable, a different memory will reserved. So suppose this all we have a memory like this. Suppose this we have a memory like this. So what happened when we create the first variable? We don't know where actually a is reserved. Let's consider that this is the memory a, okay, which have a value 10 and address is like that. When we create a variable called c, the random like that is reserved here, okay, 20. That is the concept of variable. We don't know where actually in the memory where is a, where is b. So if we need 1000, we need to store 1000 data, we need to create 1000 variables. That's why array comes. Okay, so what happened with the array? We directly create like this. We will create a array like name, okay, and we will directly initialize the data. For example, 2 8 4 10. So what happened in that case? The block of memory is reserved like this. Okay, now the data will be like you can say 2 8 4 and 10 like that. Okay, the name of the variable is like this. Okay, so this block of memory is reserved. So how this has happened? Let's consider that this is your whole memory. Okay, then what happened here? If this is your memory, basically you reserved 4 blocks, so maybe that 4 block is here anywhere, but it's contiguous, right? The 4 block is contiguous, it is reserved, and the value is here. Sorry, it's a 3 actually, 4 is here. So 4 block is reserved, right? Like that. So that is called array. But let's consider a scenario. Okay, suppose that this is your memory. Okay, this is your memory. Okay, and you have a data already there. Maybe with the array, doesn't matter, a variable, whatever you actually created, but you have a data here, here, here. These all are actually full. The symbol says these all are fulls. Okay, now you want to store 4 or 5 values. Then the problem is how you will store. You will create a different variable for 5. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, you have a 7 different memory. So you need to create a 7 different variables to use these memories to store the values. Now you can't use array because this memory is not contiguous. Okay, so how you will use this memory with means create a single variable which have all the informations about all the information about all the data. So how you will do that? That's linked list come. Okay, so linked list will do something like linked list will store the value as well as the address of the next value. So let's consider that 2 is here. Okay, you just create a linked list. Then what linked list will do? So inside the linked list there is two things. One is called value and one is called address of the next node. So for explanation, what we can do is we will create this. Okay, this is called node. Okay, this is called node. So multiple nodes or maybe single node, that is called linked list. So this is connected with that one. What is node? I will explain you first what is node exactly. Yes. So let's consider that this is the node. Okay, this is called node. Okay, inside node there is two things. Okay, first one is called data, or you can say value, and second is called you can say here is next. For now we can say next. So next, what is inside that? The value is now you can say the value is maybe 8, and inside the next the address of the other node. So this is suppose node 1. Okay, so what we will do is we will create node 2. This is called node 2. So the value is like 20. So inside next, what it will store? It will store the address of the node 2. Okay, and inside node 2, what here will store the address of the node 3 if there is, otherwise that will nil, means nothing is there. That is linked list. So in this case what happen is, first node have information about the other node, that where it is. So you can easily get the data. After 8 you will easily get 20, because in this node 8 is there, but as well as the address of where is 20 is there. Okay, so you will follow the sequence and get all the data from here. Okay, so finally the concept, the node will look like this. Okay, this is your node 1, this is your node 2, and this is your node 3. Suppose you have a 3 node. First node have a data 2, second have a 4, third have a like 10. So this will store the address of this one. Okay, and this, because of that it is connected. So and this will store the address of this one. Okay, and this is null. Okay, you got it. That's what it's worked. Okay, now we will see that how it worked in Swift programming language. So let's begin with the programming language. So here we will create a class, okay, with the name of node. So we need to understand that what type of data we will use inside the class. Inside the linked list, maybe we will store a string, maybe we will store integer, maybe we will store some other object. So we don't know actually inside the node which type of data we will store. Okay, because linked list will be used for anything, because the work of the linked list is connect the different variables to make a chain, right? Linked the lists, right? That is called linked list. So we don't know what type of data we will use. So there is a new concept, maybe you will aware of, that is called generics. So don't worry if you don't know. I will explain little bit here. So generics means you don't need to specify the data. You can create a generic type, so that whatever data you will pass, that will be initialized according to that. Okay, so I will create a class here. Let's see, class with the name node. Now here is the type. So type is for now is called generic. So we will say that value, suppose we can set any name here. Okay, so this name says that what type of data you will pass here, that will be initialized the type. So inside the value I will pass integer, maybe I will pass a string, doesn't matter. Whatever data I will pass, that will be automatically detected and initialized with that. Okay, so I just create a class here with the type of value, and here I will create two variable. As I say you that variable first is value of type value, okay, and the second variable, that is called next. Okay, what type of data that is node actually. Okay, next. So you know that what is inside the next, the address of other node, right? So that's why we need to create a node here. Now the point is, maybe you have a next node, maybe you haven't, right? We don't know at the time of when we initialize the object of this class. So what we will do is we will create a optional node, okay, optional type. What is optional? So that is optional means if you pass nothing, that means it will null, okay, that means nothing is there. Got it? Okay, so go forward. And how we will initialize the class? Init. Now there is a parameters. Value is basically value, okay, and next is node, sorry, next is node. Now that is optional, okay. That means at the time of initialization you need to pass that the value and the next when you will initialize the object of the class. So self dot value is equals to value, self dot next is equals to next. Now there is a point. So at the time of initialization we need to pass the value as well as next. So we need to pass null whenever we will create an object. Rather than doing that, if user will pass nothing to next, that means it will be null, sorry, nil. Oh, okay, nil, right? So what happen is when we'll create an object, we don't need to say that next will be nil, it will be auto initialized, okay, that is called default parameter here. Okay, so guys, this is the normal class which is actually created now. We need to do something specific to show the linked list result inside the console, okay, otherwise the, because we are not writing any application, okay, we need to show the results inside the console, because this is belongs to, you can say, algorithm or data structure. So we need to write in a proper manner so that user will see the result, what is the result. So right now what I will do is I will print the result in a string format. Doesn't matter the result, the data is passed on an integer or in some other maybe some other object or whatever. So I will show all the result inside the string format. For now, for doing this, what we need to do is we need to add a class here, add a protocol here, that is called custom string convertible. That protocol will help us to convert anything into the string, okay. Otherwise it's maybe it's take a little lengthy to convert every value inside into the string, okay. So what now we will do is we will create a variable type string, okay. Inside that we will check first that is there anything inside the next. Means suppose you create a node, so there is a two possibility. First possibility says that you create the node with nullable, means maybe there is nothing. Maybe you create a node with the address of the other node. There's two possibility, okay. So we will check that inside the next what is there. So two possibility, first is nil and second is maybe there is something. So we need to check, okay. So that is called unwrapping. We need to check that there is something or not. For that we will use guard let next is equals to next. That will only true, okay, if there is something, okay. Otherwise it's nil, okay. If there is something then this will true. So rather than doing this, what I can do is else. So that means if this will true, okay, this condition will true, that means it will never go to else. You got my point, okay. If this will true, it will never go to else. If this will false, then it will go to else. That means if there is nothing inside the next, it will execute this value, this return what return, value will be returned, sorry, okay. So if there is nothing inside next, value will be returned. Otherwise return. Now we will show the specific format that we want to return. What we want to show here is, sorry, value with the arrow symbol, plus we will concatenate and convert a string. It is used to convert describing next, plus we will concatenate some space. I will show you how it's actually show the result. Okay, it will understand more better. Let's do the next steps. I will create node. Now I'm creating the node 1, that is node of value is suppose 4. I will create node 2, the value is suppose 8. Create node 3 and the value is suppose 15. Okay, everything is stored inside the node. Now is node 1 is connected to node 2? That you need to think. What you are doing in this case, first, second and third, there is 3 line of code now. What you are saying here is create object. Okay, it will look like this. Create object. Okay, that is called node 1. You have a 2 thing, value. Here is the value and here is the next. You are just initializing, sorry, you are just initializing the next here. You says that 4 is here, done. Then you create a next node and you says 8 is here. You just create a next node, sorry for this drawing. Okay, and you say 15 is here. We just need to understand what is happening. So that is node 1, that is node 2, and that is node 3. That there is 3 objects, right? So we just initialize the value of this. Is that related to each other? No. Is that any connection between this one node 1 and node 2 and node 3? No. Then we need to form the connection. How we will do that? For that we need to write node 1 dot next. That need to be refer what? That need to be refer node 2. Okay, and node 2 dot next, that need to be refer node 3. Now what we are saying that, okay, node 1 will refer, okay, node 1 will refer this, and node 2 dot next will refer this. Now the connection is formed. If you see that the connection is formed, okay, what we will do, we will print here node 1, okay, and we can see the result. Okay, see this. What is the result? 4, 8 and 15. So you need to understand what is happening here. When you create node 1, node 2 and node 3, these are or the object here, node 1, node 2 and node 3, you just initialize the value. So because this is optional, that is called nullable optional, you just say okay, there for now that is optional, do nothing, nil is there. But when you say that node 1 here, node 1 dot next is equals to node 2, directly node 1 dot next store the information about node 2, means that is linked. And then you say node 2 dot next, that means this one is connected with node 3. That's what happening here. Okay, you form the connection in this 2 line. Now that linked list is created. Okay guys, so I hope that you understand. And now if you want to understand this description more, I will explain you here. So this is called return. Okay, when this actually execute from here to there, if there is something inside the node, that means node is next is not nil. So here in the first case, in this case node 1, this line is execute, you got something. See what you got. In this case you got 4, because you just say value is 4 and next is nil, that means next is nil. This is return 4 only. Same happen with this node 2. When you say node 2 8, what you got here? You just got 8. Same thing here, node 3 value, you got value, that is 15. Fine. When you say that node 1 dot next is equals to 2, then there is something inside the next. That means this 2 line is not execute, this return is execute, and this return say got the value. Okay, So here in this case, what is the value? Value is 4 followed by this symbol. Convert everything what is inside the next. Okay, that's why you got 4 8 15. Okay, you need some practice with that, manipulate the code and understand better way. And if there is something you need to see one more thing here, the value is integer here, right? We are passing integer value, but we didn't say to the class that we will pass integer. We say that generic value means maybe we will pass integer, maybe we will pass string. So let's try with the string. What has happened if I will pass a string here? For example, hello. In the first memory I stored hello, and in the second memory I stored how are you, and in the third memory I stored what are you doing. Okay, and I just run this and see the result. So what is the result? How? Okay, how? Okay, it's changing the line, but it's still fine. So how symbol, this is the value, that is first is hello, so this is execute hello with this symbol, here say how are you, and this string describing that how are you, again the symbol, and this is your result. So first node there is hello, then symbol, then the second node says how are you, then again the symbol, and the third node says what are you doing. That's what you can pass a string as well as integer or maybe other any data type. There's no issue with that. Okay, so let's see with the different type of data structure. Bye.